Hello, beautiful women. Happy Tuesday. I wanted to share with you all a remembering that I had last night. And it was a beautiful reminder from my ex-partner. And that reminder was that people come in our life to gift us something. They are always gifting us something. And last night I had the reminder that my ex-partner really gave me the biggest gift of all. And I remember at the time of us choosing to part, to go separate ways. Hey, Stephanie. I literally have never felt heartbreak like it, in the same way that I have never felt love for another person in the way that I loved him. And I remember feeling like I could not go on, like I didn't know what to do. I was so fearful around living life without him. And one of the reasons behind this that I see so beautifully now is that he really created that sense of safety and home for myself. And of course, if I felt safe and at home with him, then anything outside of that was to create a sense of threat. Essentially how my mind would have taken it in. So I really struggled to leave him. And last night I was reminded that the journey that I've been on since we parted has been a remembering and a homecoming for myself. Because once I chose to lean into the fear of being without him, because what I was actually doing was placing my power, giving my power to him by choosing a sense of safety, choosing to have my safety and to have him as my home, because I didn't feel it within myself. And this whole journey after him, and even before we parted, has been that beautiful homecoming. And this is one of the really big things that I see is, women essentially, they're either in a relationship and something's missing, something's not right. There's a sense of unhappiness in their relationship. And there's two options that come up. They feel like they either need to get out of the relationship, or they stay in the relationship and just choose to be really unhappy. And I want to put in a third option here, because we get to come home to ourselves. It doesn't necessarily have to look like without our partner, and it doesn't have to look like living a life that sacrifices everything in order to be with our partner. When we come home to ourselves, when we drop into who we be as a person, which is connecting deeply into our physical body and really discovering all the pieces that are existing and living within her in order to unclutter what we no longer need and no longer want to carry around, we create a sense of safety within ourselves and we come home to ourselves. So it's literally like we realign ourselves with our body. And when we can come home to ourselves and feel safe within ourselves, what happens is our outside reflects that. So we show up in our relationships, receiving the love that our partners are trying to give us. And a lot of this is when we are not home within ourselves, when we are not owning our body and loving and embracing all the feels that she has to deliver, that she gets to deliver to us. We're essentially closing down from every amount of love that is pouring into us at any given time. And our partner, I remember being in this relationship with my ex-partner, and he loved me so deeply for just being me. And I remember one day he came home from work and I was crying on the bed, and I was bawling my eyes out, and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I'm just so unhappy and I don't know what's wrong with me." And I felt so alone. So alone. And it's so common. I see it in women all the time who I work with, is this sense of aloneness that we feel in relationships, in ourselves, in friendships. And it's because we aren't connected to ourselves. It's because we are shutting down pieces of ourselves that are needing, that are desiring, that are yearning for our attention. Because no one outside of us can give it to us. It has to come from within. It has to. So I want to leave you today with the reminder that you get to come home to yourself, and also that whatever happens outside of that is a beautiful creating space for what's about to come in. So I remember feeling so heartbroken when my ex-partner and I split, and it took me a little while, and the life that has dropped in, I literally wrote in my diary last night. I was writing a letter to him and I just said, "Thank you. You have given me the biggest gift of all, and that is freedom." He held my hand as he walked me home, and he opened the door to my own house. I'm gonna cry. He opened the door to myself, to my own freedom. And allowed me to walk inside. And I didn't want to walk inside because he wasn't coming with me. But it was my home. And this is the feeling that we get to feel. We get to have that freedom within ourselves. And the people around us, the relationships that we go through, are simple reminders for that. And these people are always just walking us home. Always walking us home to ourselves. In order to experience all of the things that we're calling in. My life since then has consisted of freedom. The most freedom I could ever even imagine. The most pleasure. The most receiving increase of every single thing my whole entire life has amplified. And that has been the biggest gift. So you may feel like you are struggling right now to let something go. But I also want to remind you that something else is coming in. And it's even better than you could ever imagine. I love you all so much, and I really see you in the courage that you're choosing to lean in. Have a beautiful day, my loves.